This is the drip video. Got drip down the back of your nose. You got, that throat clearing. Maybe your spouse does. What can you do? What do you need to know? That's what we're going to look at today. So check it out. Postnasal drip, which basically means you feel like something's going down the back of your throat. You might clear your throat or swallow, you feel like there's something stuck there. It's really very annoying, and it's also very common. So what are the three most common reasons why? Number one, allergy, sinus, and something called LPR reflux. I think most of us understand the concept of allergy causing postnasal drip. We're going to save that for another day. Again, sinusitis, you've got an infection in your nose, it's generating extra secretions, dripping down the back of your nose. Again, I think people understand that. What we're going to talk about today is LPR reflux, laryngopharyngeal reflux. It's basically the sensation that something's dripping down the back of your throat, and I want to tell you more next. So what's the difference between LPR reflux and just reflux in general? There isn't. It's really the same thing. Reflux in general is when you've got stomach contents, which are often acidic, but they may not have any acid. If you're taking a proton pump inhibitor like Prilosec, omeprazole, Protonix, these medications will turn down the acid content in your stomach, but there's still digestive enzymes, and that can still reflux up your esophagus. So reflux means stomach contents coming up, and it will be worse if you have sleep apnea, obesity, if you've had alcohol, so on and so forth. There are things that make you reflux a little bit more. What's LPR reflux? It's when the acid reflux, the stomach contents get all the way up to the back of your throat. Oftentimes it's silent, and that's why so many people are so confused about the concept that they could have reflux to explain their throat clearing. Let's tell you a little bit more. So let me get this straight, Scarata. You're telling me that I could have acid getting up into my throat and not even be aware of it? Absolutely. Oftentimes it happens when you're asleep at night, or you just may be completely oblivious to having reflux at all. We all have at least a little bit of reflux, so if you've never been aware of a single episode of heartburn, you probably are a person more likely to have silent reflux. But many people get reflux while they're sleeping at night. They might have some ice cream in the evening while they're watching TV or some other problems, and that could cause you to have more stomach acid as you go to sleep. When you're sleeping or you're snoring, you're trying to pull air into your lungs, you're also inadvertently pulling stomach acid up into your throat. That stomach acid can burn the back of your throat, and you won't necessarily be aware of it. You might wake you up in the middle of the night gasping for breath, but oftentimes you aren't aware. What do you notice? This is what you do notice. You notice postnasal drip. What? Yeah, think about it. The acid burns the back of your throat. Your nose is constantly making a layer of secretions that drip down the back of your throat, and therefore it's going to run across that raw tissue, and that will make you want to clear it away. You really don't produce a whole lot, maybe a little scant material, not a lot, but you feel like it's there, and then you swallow, maybe drink some water, but then just a few moments later, you feel like there it is again. And your idea is, I need to dry it up. I need to stop this drip. But for people who have LPR reflux, you want to heal that swollen, angry tissue. And I'm going to talk about that next. If your reflux is really bad, or if your doctor recommends it, so do these things all under the guidance of a physician. There are over-the-counter medications such as Prilosec, and that's called a proton pump inhibitor. That's the family of medications. A proton pump inhibitor, it inhibits proton pumps. Proton pumps are acid pumps. And the way you have to take this medication, which no one ever tells you, is a half an hour to an hour before your evening meal. Before a meal that has protein or fat. And usually your evening meal will have protein or fat. However, if you want to take it before breakfast, you need to have protein with it. You can't take your Prilosec with the meal, because then you won't digest it, and for that meal, it won't work until you eat your next meal, and your blood will already clear quite a bit of it from your body, so the proton pumps will not be disrupted. So if you take it a half an hour to an hour before dinner, a meal that typically has some protein and or fat, then you'll get the maximum benefit from that proton pump inhibitor, such as Prilosec, Nexium, omeprazole, Protonix, and there are others. So again, under the direction of your physician, adding that to your regimen could further help with your reflux. The last thing you need is patience. It could take a month, it could take 2 months, it could take 3 months. If you have a lower esophageal sphincter, which is a lower valve in your esophagus, you're going to be refluxing pretty much the rest of your life. So these behaviors will keep that down. The less acid that comes up, the more you'll heal. And you might find that your postnasal drip and your throat clearing get better. But of course, if you think you have allergy or sinusitis at the Modern Nose Clinic, we'd love to see you. Dr. Douglas Scarata, Modern Nose Clinic, we know your nose.